Alright, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to go ahead and start editing the video footage that I want you guys to do to make a compilation of my bridge failures that I did in my 7th grade class. So it's going to be your job to kind of put all of those different video footage of the bridge failures into one video, just showing the moment of the bridge collapsing. I'm going to want you to do it two different ways, one in regular speed and then also in slow motion. So in this video I'm going to explain and show you guys step by step how to go about doing that. The first thing we're going to use in order to edit the video, we're going to use something called Adobe Premiere Pro. That is this icon right here on my desktop. You guys may not have it on your desktop, so what you can do to find it is if you go down to the bottom left-hand corner of your computer screen, where the start button is, you go ahead and click that start button and you will find Adobe Premiere Pro. So you can go ahead and click on that to open that up, and that's what we're gonna start with. So now, once this opens up, you can go ahead and close this out. There might be some things in here that you might have to make some changes to. We'll start off by clicking on New Project, and we'll see what we got going on here. All right, so it gives you a lot of different, like all these video clips and things like that. And we don't necessarily need any of those, so we're not going to pay too much attention to that. And we will start by calling it something up here, and we'll say we're just going to call this bridge failures because that's what it is. So bridge failures, and we're going to go ahead and just choose where we want to put this. You can put it many different places. Generally, documents is where you'd want to go, so you would just click this little drop down here, choose your location right here, and then you can go ahead and find documents right here. I'm going to put mine in my folder that says bridges. You might not have that folder. You can just leave it in documents, and that's fine, and that's where you can end up leaving it for now. I'm going to go ahead and select that folder, and then I'm going to hit create down on the bottom right hand corner. And you're going to have lots of different things that I don't have because I've already closed them out. There will be a menu over here probably, and I don't see it up here. I don't know if I can get it back on here. Okay, so you may have a menu that looks something like this over here to the left-hand side of your work area, and we really don't need that. Your screens probably are not going to be big enough to really see everything if you have this open. So in order to close it, up here on the top left-hand corner of it, you'll see these three little bars. You go ahead and left-click on that, and you just hit Close Panel, and that will get rid of that any panel that you really don't want. The ones that we're going to be mainly using here, you have your timeline down here. This is where we will be doing most of our editing. The second box right here is where your tools are. You have your select tool, you have your razor tool that we'll be using quite a bit, and some other things too that you might want to, and we might be using too, like the text tool and things like that. This is where all your video footage will end up being, and we need to end up putting that stuff in there. I also have something up here that you guys might not have. You might have it on, you might have source no clip right now or something like that. I have edit controls open here, and that's one thing that you're going to need to have set up on this in Premiere Pro. So to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to window, and then down here there is a bunch of boxes that I have checked off. The ones that you want to have checked off for sure are effects control. You can see I have that box right there checked off, and also effects. That will be down here in this box right below here. If you can see, there's my effects, and you will need that to do some different effects when we start doing some different editing. All right, so now the next step, what you need to do is actually to get your video footage into the timeline down here. So your video footage, or the video footage that I gave you, is going to be on your file on the server. So when you open up your files down here on the bottom, you'll get this box right here, and there are some different things here that places that you can kind of look. Under this PC, you will find a file that says your name on it. It'll be down here under network locations. You can see I have MBACO. Yours is going to have a little Y after it should at least, and that will be where you will open. So you would go ahead and double click on that, open up that file location, and inside that file location you will find some video footage that I placed in there for you. Okay, so that video footage is going to look like, and I have mine somewhere else. It's going to look like these right here. Okay, so we have several different video clips. In this case, we have around 9 or 10 of them. And actually right now I only have 9 of them. So we're going to go ahead and start by putting these video clips down here in our where our media needs to be. So we're going to go ahead and click on that first one, hold the shift key on my keyboard, and click on the last one. That will select all of them, and then I'm just going to go ahead and drag them into this place down here where it says import media to start. Okay, so now I got my video clips in here that I'm going to be using. Now we can do all these at once, but I'm going to go ahead and do these one at a time. So I'm going to start with the first one up here. Go ahead and just grab it and drag it over here to my timeline, and that will be where you'll see that up here on the top it gives you a preview of what we're looking at, and you can kind of see as I can scroll through here. This little blue line is what they call the playhead. That is, wherever that line is, that's where you're at in your video footage. So you can kind of scroll it along. I only want the part of this video that is where the bridge starts to fail. So I'm going to scroll this bar all the way down closer to the end, because that's obviously where the bridge is going to fail. Okay, so we can go ahead and find a good spot where we think it's a good place to start it. Okay, that's a little bit too much. You can also go back and forth with the arrow keys on your keyboard. So if you want to go 1 or 2 increments at a time, you can do that until you get that playhead right where you want it. That's pretty good right there. I'm going to go ahead and click on my razor tool now. Come over to the playhead and then click that, and that will cut it right at that point. So this other part of the video, I have 2 sections now. When I click on this left-hand side, this is the part I do not want anymore. So I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard and get rid of that. And I can take this piece and slide it all the way over to the left, beginning of my video clip. So I can go ahead and play this at full speed, and I don't want it to last too long. I'm only going to leave it on there for a couple seconds because we're going to make a compilation of these. Okay, so it's maybe about there is where I'm going to do it. Another way to cut some video clips is you don't have to necessarily use the razor tool. You can also use your cursor. If I go to the end, you'll see I get this little red bar that has an arrow pointing left or right. I'm going to go ahead and left click on it at that point where it's pointing to the left and slide it over to my playhead. And so that gives me where that video clip is going to start and stop. Now I also wanted to I want this to run full speed, but then I also want it to run in slow motion. So we're going to do that. The next thing you're going to need to do is you need to copy this. Now to copy it, all you have to do is you're going to hold the Alt key and the X key on your keyboard, take your left mouse button and drag that clip over here to the right, and now I have 2 clips. Basically it's just repeating that same clip over and over again. But on the second part of this, I'm going to change the speed. So I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to find speed and duration, and I'm going to make this let's see, let's do this at 50% speed, I think. Let's see what that does, and that will double how much time it takes. So it'll go a little, about half as fast as it did before. So you can kind of see it now. It goes in a little more slow motion. And if you want it to go, I think it might be a little bit better if we go a little bit slower. So we're going to try it at there's my speed and locate. Oh, it's up here. I'm going to try this at, say, we'll say 25%. Let's see what that does. This might be too slow, but we'll see. Oh, that's pretty good. And again, I don't need all of this, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this back even some more. So now that clip is done. So I have it playing full speed, and then it plays at 1/4 speed. Okay, so now that you have the first set of clips done, now what you're going to do, this was Morgan and Lily. We're going to go ahead and go to the next one here, which would be Peyton. Just going to go ahead and drag that one on, and we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to go ahead and find the part where the bridge starts to collapse, so we can, you know, kind of shrink this down, move our playhead over to the part where the bridge collapsed here towards the end, obviously. And once you see that it collapses, we're going to go.
Alright, here we go.
And once it collapses, then we can come back it up and then take our razor again and go ahead and cut that, and just repeat that same process that we did with the other ones. Okay, so now that way, once you get all the pieces edited and they're all in there, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to put your playhead all the way here to the beginning. And what we want to do is we want to mark the beginning part of this video. So to do that, you'll go up here to markers, click on that, and we're going to click mark in. Then we will go to the end of the clip, take our playhead all the way to the end. And one way you can get to make sure you're at the end is if you page up or page down with your arrow keys on your keyboards, it will go to the beginning and the end of that clip. So I want to go to the end of this last clip, so I'm going to hit the page down or the arrow down button here, and you can see that it will go right to the end of that last piece of clip. And then I'll just go to marker again, click on mark out, and now I have the beginning and the end marked of what I want to render. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to export, click on export, and what that will do, it will set up the process for us to make this into a video. So the first thing we're going to need to do is change the file name. You'll see that it's called Morgan and Lily. We don't want it to be called that. That's the first clip that we had. So we're going to go ahead and change that. We're going to say bridge fails. Third marking period. And we want to go ahead and save this to where you want to save it. So we're going to click on that. You guys can just save it right here to Documents. So if it's not already in Documents, you don't see this PC, then Documents, go ahead and click on this PC and then find Documents and go ahead and open it. I'm actually going to save mine to an external hard drive here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and go to where I need to save it. How to Videos. There's my folder. And we'll click in here in Bridge Fails, and I'm going to call this Bridge Fails Third Marking Period. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and click Save. And for our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and let you leave this. It should say probably match source, adaptive high bitrate, and then H.264. If it's set on that, you should be good to go. We're not going to make any changes to that. That'll render it how we want it to render out over here. Then what we'll do is go ahead and click Export, and we'll let that go ahead and render. And once it renders, then your video file will be complete. Alright, so now once your video exports, you'll see this little blue sign down here on the bottom, and then it is ready to go ahead and play. If you go up here into my files where I saved it, you'll see there it is, Bridge Fails Third Marking Period, and then I can go ahead and click on that to view it. And this is what you're going to want to upload to Google Classroom for me. Okay, so, and there you go. Okay, so that's what the video should look like when you're done. Alright, so go ahead and then upload that to Google Classroom, and then you can submit it to turn it in. If you need help uploading it, just let me know and I can show you how to do that.